Hello and a very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha television and this is the breakfast news on this Monday morning with me, Frank Pereira. Let's begin with the headlines. Bangladesh blames homegrown terror and Pakistan's ISI for deadly Dhaka carnage. High alert sounded across 5 border states with India. Body of Indian girl killed to be flown home today. At least 125 people killed and nearly 150 injured in the deadliest bomb attack in Iraqi capital Baghdad. IS claims responsibility. 3 days national mourning declared in the country. Cloudburst followed by heavy rains and landslides claim several lives in Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh. 10 rivers in Uttarakhand in spate. Centre to celebrate the 350th birth anniversary of Sikh Guru Gobind Singh. 100 crore rupees earmarked for events to be celebrated across the world. Well, let's begin with our top focus on the bulletin this morning. Bangladesh has blamed homegrown terror and Pakistan's ISI for the deadliest terror attacks that left 20 people dead in Dhaka. The country's interior minister has ruled out an Islamic State link. A high alert has been sounded across the border with 5 Indian states. The body of the Indian girl hacked to death will reach India today. Here's more.
The images released by the IS on SITE Intel Group's Twitter page. Images purportedly of the militants alleged to be the gunmen who carried out the deadly attack at Holy Artisan Bakery Cafe in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bangladesh, however, dismissing links to the international terror organization, saying the gunmen were Bangladeshis.
সবাই কিন্তু বাংলাদেশী সবাই বাংলাদেশী এবং এরা কোনো বিদেশি নয় এবং বিদেশির সঙ্গে এদের কানেকশন আছে বলে আমাদের মনে হয় না তো এরা সবই হোমগ্রাউন্ড জঙ্গি আমরা সব সময় যেটা বলি আমাদের দেশের এদের উৎপত্তি এদের দেশেই এরা দেশের নিয়ে কাজ করছে দেশের লোকজনের পরামর্শে এরা কাজ করছে
Dhaka pointing fingers at homegrown outfit, the JMB or Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh. Political advisor to the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina also blaming Pakistan's ISI for the attack, alleging it wants to derail the current government. High alert has been sounded on the Indo-Bangla border in 5 states following the Friday carnage in Dhaka that killed 20 people. Alert is along borders with West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, Assam and Mizoram.
We have 20 attacks, more than that, and more than 60 persons are under our custody who have been detected with these crimes. So after getting all the interrogation reports and everything, there is no evidence whatsoever these theories do have any international connections. It is totally a homegrown terrorist network.
Meanwhile, the body of the Indian teenager Tarishi Jain, who was among those hacked to death, will be flown to Delhi today. 20 foreigners, including 8 Italians, 7 Japanese and the Indian student, were the victims of the worst terror attack in Bangladesh. 6 attackers were killed and 1 captured alive in the operation. Candlelight vigil was held late on Sunday at Dhaka's Shahid Minar, also known as Martyrs Monument, to pay respects for the victims of the attack. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, 3 days of national mourning has been declared in Iraq after a huge bomb in the capital Baghdad killed at least 125 people and wounded about 150. In the attack claimed by Islamic State, an explosive-ridden lorry was detonated in the Karada district while families were shopping for the holiday marking the end of Ramadan. The bombing came a week after Iraqi forces recaptured the city of Fallujah from the Islamic State. Here's a detailed report.
يعني كل عيد يعني يجي العيد انه نفرح نعيد العالم هو هذا عيدنا هذا عيدنا هذا عيدنا اللي نفرح به العالم هذا العيد اللي نفرح به انه جاي يشتري هدوم ملابس العيد يشتري شيفين ثالثه شيفين
Pall of gloom and mourning in Iraq. After a brazen bomb attack on Saturday midnight in the heart of capital killed at least 125 people and wounded about 150. As the families gathered in the Karada district after breaking fast for the holy month of Ramadan and prepared for Eid ul-Fitr, A lorry packed with explosives detonated. Within seconds, the whole area engulfed in flames, and festivities were replaced with scenes of rescue workers pulling bodies from the rubble. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for this deadliest single attack in the war-weary country in years.
يعني ودك كراده وهذا كل العالم قاعد تشتري عمود العيد وده تعيد وده تفرح وده تتمشى ما تحسك الا ساعه على غفله طق انفجار هز الامه هز ما تحسك الا مشوا بالدنيا صارت سوداء بوجهك.
Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi called the Karda strike dastardly and cowardly and announced a 3-day mourning period. He visited the mainly Shia area on Sunday, but his convoy was greeted by angry crowds. He later announced increased security measures, including the scrapping of fake bomb detectors and use of improved vehicle inspection systems at entry points into Baghdad and other provinces. The US said that the latest attack has strengthened its resolve to support Iraqi forces in their fight against Islamic State. Pope Francis has also condemned the attack.
E dei feriti dell'attentato avvenuto ieri a Dacca e anche a quello avvenuto a Baghdad. Preghiamo insieme.
This flurry of Islamic State strikes during Ramadan comes as the US says the group is losing ground in the warfare across Syria and Iraq. Iraqi forces announced last week that they have seized the city of Fallujah from the Islamic State. The forces are now turning their attention to Mosul, which has been under IS control since 2014. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, back in India, nearly 40 people have been killed in Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh after torrential rains and cloudbursts hit different parts of the states in the early hours of Friday. The rescue operation is still on. 18 more bodies were recovered from the debris in Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh and Chamoli districts. 10 rivers in the state are in spate. Here's a report.
At least 40 people have died in Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh after torrential rain triggered landslides and floods in the Himalayan states. 30 people were killed and 15 are missing after cloudbursts and landslides triggered by heavy rain in Uttarakhand. Rescue teams continue to look for 25 people who went missing following the landslides.
हम रात भर पूरे खौफ के साए में जिए हैं एक रात भी हम सोए नहीं है कंबल लेकर के और सब करके हमने इसी मंदिर में हमने शरण दी है और ऊपर से मलबा इतना आया कि हमारे घर टूट गए हैं और रहने की व्यवस्था नहीं है.
Personnel of the NDRF, STRF, ITBP, SSB and State Police were clearing the debris left after the cloudburst in Pithoragarh and Chamoli districts on Friday. Expressing grief over the loss of lives in Uttarakhand, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the government is working on a plan of action to tackle such natural eventualities and that around 27 researches have been initiated on the Himalayan mountain range.
Cloudburst in Himalayan region is not a rare phenomena, but as we know that climate change has increased the frequency of such events. And therefore, Modi government has first time after independence has allotted 100 crore rupees to carry out studies of various aspects of Himalayan ecology. And we have already started working on 27 projects in which all such disaster resilience and disaster predictions and all such things are already there. So I think with the knowledge we can mitigate the challenge, and therefore what has happened today, the concerned state government and the central concerned ministries, Home Ministry is already on the job.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed grief over the loss of lives due to the cloudburst and heavy rains. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Harish Rawat announced a compensation of 2 lakh rupees each to the families of the victims. He also said that more teams from the state, central authorities and other relief forces have all been kept on high alert as a precautionary measure.
लेकिन सड़कें कुछ जगहों पर टूटी हैं, लेकिन अधिकांश जगहों पर हमने रेस्टोर कर दी हैं, फिर से यातायात आदि प्रारंभ कर दिया गया है और पूरी तरीके से राज्य में अलर्ट की स्थिति है. सब अधिकारी इत्यादि सब अलर्ट में है. आपदा प्रबंधन तंत्र पूरी तरीके से मुस्तैदी से काम कर रहा है.
The Dehradun Meteorological Department has issued a warning for 48 hours which stated that heavy to very heavy rainfall would occur at few places across the state, while extremely heavy rainfall could occur at isolated places in all 13 districts. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, monsoon has made its entry into Delhi 2 days after its scheduled arrival, bringing cheer and much-needed respite to residents from muggy weather. The national capital recorded 23.6 mm of rainfall. There was a steep fall in mercury as the maximum temperature settled at 30.2 degrees Celsius, 7 notches below the season's average. The southwest monsoon has further advanced into the remaining parts of the western Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, most parts of Haryana as well, and the entire Chandigarh and Punjab and some parts of eastern Rajasthan. Light to moderate rains occurred in some parts of Himachal Pradesh, even as weather conditions remain cloudy across the state. Parts of Mumbai received heavy rainfall in the last 24 hours, even as incessant showers continued to hit other cities like Pune and Nashik. With light to moderate rain in Uttar Pradesh in the last 24 hours, water level of important rivers have started rising in a number of places. Meanwhile, the Met Department also states that the overall monsoon deficiency has reduced to 9% after several parts of the country received a good amount of rainfall. In other news now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to prominent Sikh soldier Baba Banda Singh on Sunday. At the event attended by allies Shiromani Akali Dal in the capital, Modi also announced elaborate celebrations for the birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh next year.
The centre has earmarked 100 crore rupees to celebrate the 350th birth anniversary of Sikh Guru Gobind Singh across the country next year. The Punjab government will also contribute a matching amount for the event. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday at a function to commemorate the 300th anniversary of martyrdom of Sikh General Baba Banda Singh. The Prime Minister also said that a high-level national committee will be formed to chalk out an elaborate plan for the celebrations. Banda Singh Bahadur, a disciple of Guru Gobind Singh, is credited with establishing Sikh rule in Punjab. He assembled a force to fight the Mughal Empire. He was captured and executed by the Mughals in Delhi in 1716.
गुरु गोविंद सिंह जी के जन्म की 350वीं वर्षगांठ बहुत ही सम्मान के साथ भारत सरकार मनाने जा रही है और देश के हर कोने में मनाई जाएगी। दुनिया भर में जहां हिंदुस्तानी फैले हैं उन सब जगह पर मनाई जाएगी।
Sunday's event was also attended by Punjab Chief Minister Prakar Singh Badal and Deputy Chief Minister Sukhbir Badal. Sukhbir Badal made a special mention of the upcoming elections in the state and said that the BJP Shiromani Akali Dal alliance will fight the Congress, AAP opposition and also duck anti-incumbency.
कई ऐसियां पार्टियां जिन्होंने टैंਕਾਂ ਤੋਪਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਮਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਉਹ ਅਤਵਾਦੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਹਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਤਵਾਦੀ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਹਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਨਸ਼ੇੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤਾਕਤਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੌਮ ਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਹੈ।
With the elections due in Punjab in 2017, parties are scrambling to appease voters and outflank their competition in the process. Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party has been trying hard to make inroads in Punjab recently and named the Barapula Bridge in Delhi after Baba Banda Singh. This is Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, BSP Chief Mayawati has trained her guns on the centre and the Akhilesh Yadav government in Uttar Pradesh for the law and order situation in the state. At a press meet on Sunday, Mayawati said that the centre should have imposed President's rule in Uttar Pradesh to fulfill its promise to improve law and order situation in the state. She alleged that the centre has failed to fulfill its constitutional obligation. She also said that the Akhilesh Yadav government has failed to control crime in the state despite law and order being a state subject. The BJP hit back at Mayawati, saying that she is making allegations and she senses defeat for her party in the upcoming assembly polls.
उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता को एक खास आश्वासन था कि केंद्र में भाजपा की सरकार बन जाने पर वह उत्तर प्रदेश की ध्वस्त हुई कानून व्यवस्था के मामले में जरूर दखल देगी। लेकिन अब केंद्र में अपने राजनीतिक स्वार्थ के साथ साथ यहां उत्तर प्रदेश में सपा से भाजपा की अंदरूनी मिलीभगत के कारण ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं किया जा रहा है।
बहन जी को अपनी हार का एहसास हो रहा है, इसलिए बौखलाहट में इस तरह की बयानबाजी कर रही हैं। और मैं मानता हूं कि जुगलबंदी सपा और बसपा की थी और जो कॉकटेल था उत्तर प्रदेश में सपा बसपा और कांग्रेस का, अब वो लोगों के सामने एक्सपोज हुआ है।
Well, here's a look now at what else is slated to take place during the course of the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact informally with the sportspersons bound for the Rio Olympics from August 5th to the 21st. The event for meeting with the Olympic contingent will be held at the Manekshaw Center in New Delhi. 100 athletes from 13 sports disciplines have qualified for the Rio Olympics. BRICS nations will chalk out a plan for BRICS nations will chalk out a plan for enhancing cooperation in energy efficiency when they meet at Visakhapatnam for a two-day deliberation starting today. India, a member of BRICS, will also showcase its efforts in energy saving, energy efficiency, particularly the LED street lighting program and a PAT or Performance Achievement and Trade program for industrial energy efficiency. Well, the Rajasthan MLA's son, who had hit an auto rickshaw and a PCR van with his speeding BMW, killing 3 persons and injuring 5 others, will be produced in court today. Siddharth, the son of an independent MLA from Fatehpur, Nandkishore Maharia, was allegedly driving the BMW. It's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, it has been 4 days and there is no news of the 2 Indians who were abducted from Nigeria. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said on Sunday that India is making all efforts to secure the release of 2 Indians who were abducted from Nigeria on June 29th. Andhra Pradesh resident S. Srinivas and his colleague Anish Sharma, a resident of Karnataka, were allegedly kidnapped at a traffic signal by armed men while on their way to work. Both have been working as civil engineers at a cement plant in Benue State in north-central Nigeria for the last 3 years. External Affairs spokesperson Vikas Swarup had on Friday ruled out the role of Boko Haram terrorists in the kidnapping. Nigerian authorities have reportedly launched a search operation. Well, here's a roundup of the other international news in our segment World Wrap. China will hold military drills in the disputed South China Sea ahead of a ruling by the International Court on a challenge to its maritime claims. The drills will be held from the 5th and 11th of July in waters around the Parcel Islands, with ships prohibited from entering the waters in that time. The drills come even as a permanent court of arbitration is due to issue a decision on the 12th of July on a challenge made by the Philippines to China's claims in the region. However, China insists that the panel has no authority to rule in the case. "13 suspects were charged on Sunday over the Istanbul airport suicide bombings, which left over 45 people dead. Turkish officials have pointed the blame at the Islamic State terrorist group for Tuesday's gun and bomb spree at Ataturk airport. The suspects, who are in police custody, were charged with belonging to a terror group, homicide and endangering the unity of the state. Turkey's Prime Minister Binali Yildirim, meanwhile, said that police had arrested a total of 29 people to date over the attacks. A suspected suicide attacker has been killed after detonating a device near the US consulate in the Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah. 2 policemen were reportedly injured in the incident and the attacker is said to be dead. The attack came in the early hours of US Independence Day. The Jeddah consulate was the scene of a militant attack in 2004 which left 9 people dead. Well, search teams have recovered more human remains from the Egypt airplane that crashed into the Mediterranean in May. The search vessel retrieved all the human remains that were mapped at the crash location. The Airbus A320 plunged into the sea on May 19th while heading to Cairo from Paris, killing all 66 people on board. A committee probing the plane disaster has said that the memory chips of Egypt Air's 804's black box voice recorder are intact and investigators should be able to access them. The other black box has already been accessed. Well, moving on to news from Wimbledon now. It was a mixed day for India at Wimbledon on Sunday. In the women's doubles, Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis sailed through to the third round. Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis took only 52 minutes in moving into the third round with a 6-3, 6-1 win. Meanwhile, Leander Paes and Marcin Matkowski lost in the men's doubles competition. The 10-seeded Finnish Australian pair of John Pearce and Henry Kontinen needed only 62 minutes to dispatch Paes and his Polish partner. Well, let's take a look at some more news from Wimbledon now and move to the men's singles. Andy Murray faces his first serious test at Wimbledon 2016 when he meets Australian Nick Kyrgios in the last 16 on Monday. Following Novak Djokovic's shock exit, British #1 Murray is the favourite to win his second title, while Kyrgios is looking to reach only his third Grand Slam quarter-final. Kyrgios has not defeated Murray in any of their previous 4 meetings. Meanwhile, unseeded Steve Johnson will attempt to pull off an upset against 7-time Wimbledon champion Roger Federer. Federer has yet to drop a set at Wimbledon 2016. Meanwhile, Sam Querrey will return to action facing Nicolas Mahut 2 days after pulling off the biggest shock of the tournament so far. Querrey knocked out defending champion Novak Djokovic in a 4-set thriller to end Djokovic's run of 30 successive victories. Meanwhile, last year's semi-finalist Richard Gasquet returns to action on court 1 against Jo Wilfried Tsonga. Tsonga is back in action 24 hours after an epic 4-hour battle that saw him win 19-17 in the 5th set against John Isner. And in the women's draw, defending champion Serena Williams will face Russia's Svetlana Kuznetsova after securing the 300th Grand Slam win of her career on Sunday. Sister Venus Williams will face number 12 seed Carla Suarez Navarro on court 2. And news from Euro Championship now. France beat Iceland 5-2 to set up a semi-final clash with Germany on Thursday. Well, the defeat put an end to the fairy tale of the Icelandic men's national football team finally. After beating England 2-1 on Monday night, Iceland was confident of a good show. Only 12 minutes into the game, Olivier Giroud scored the game's first goal. That was followed by a second goal by Paul Pogba. Then the third goal was scored by Dimitri Payet in the 43rd minute, closely followed by one from Antoine Griezmann only 2 minutes later. Iceland fought hard during the second half, managing to score twice. Despite a tough game, the Icelandic fans enthusiastically supported their heroes till the very end, well aware that they had already exceeded all expectations at the championship. Well, here's a look at the other overnight sports news in our segment Sports Beat. The Indian men's hockey team played out a 1-1 draw against Spain in the final match of the Six Nations Invitational Tournament on Sunday. India attacked during the second quarter of the match and defender Raghunath levelled the score in the 18th minute after Spain scored earlier. With seconds to play, India came close to scoring again, but the effort hit the crossbar and fell safely to leave the two teams with an equal share of the points. Virat Kohli maintained his second spot in the one-day international standings for batsmen released by the ICC on Sunday. However, India is in the third spot. World champions Australia have retained their number one ranking. The biggest gainer is the West Indies, which jumped up to the seventh spot. South Africa's AB de Villiers continues to lead the batsmen's ranking. Britain Lewis Hamilton won the Australian Grand Prix after colliding with Nico Rosberg in the last lap, who finished in fourth spot. Hamilton's victory was the 250th by a British driver since the championship started in 1950 and the 46th of his career. Hamilton's win cut the Germans' lead in the title race from 24 points to 11 ahead of next weekend's British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Lionel Messi will represent Argentina once again at the 2018 World Cup in Russia, according to national team Monsieur Marcelo Andrea. Last Sunday, Messi shocked the football world by announcing his international retirement after Argentina lost to Chile on penalties in the Copa America Centenario final. D'Andrea also revealed that Messi didn't notify his decision with the camp, admitting that the Copa America loss was the hardest defeat of his career. Well, that's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.